Welcome back. Well, if there's anything that has been very challenging in this fight against COVID-19, it will be trying to keep tabs on the various variants which we have. You hear about the Nigerian variant, the South African variant, the Indian variant, and it will seem the list goes on, and there are questions about what variants we will be combating in the days to come. Well, just to get a sense of how that's impacting on our fight against COVID-19 and how well we've been able to get a handle on this, Dr. Abiodun Egueno joins us on the program. She's the Antimicrobial Resistance Program Coordinator at the NCDC. Great to have you on the program. I imagine that the Commission is not under as much pressure as it was this time last year. Are you weary about this seeming calm we're experiencing with COVID-19 in Nigeria?
So thank you so much for having me. We do know that COVID-19 virus is a new virus, and as all viruses, mutations occur regularly. But many of these mutations are inconsequential. We are worried about a mutation if it causes increased transmission of disease, can cause severe disease, or if it evades treatment or vaccination. This is when we are worried of a COVID-19 variant, and such variants are called variants of concern. But currently, the Indian coronavirus variant, for example, is still a variant of interest because it has not been shown. There is no evidence showing that this variant causes any of these has any of these four characteristics that I earlier mentioned. But we do need to monitor the COVID-19, the coronavirus, the SARS-CoV-2 virus for such mutations because they do occur regularly.
So when you say they do occur regularly, in the case of Nigeria, just how regular has the Indian variant been for Nigeria?
So for Nigeria, we do have a genomic surveillance network where 3 laboratories collect some samples and sequence for occurring mutations or the current sequence some samples of the COVID-19 samples that are gotten from patients. And so far, we have logged the UK variant and even the Nigerian variant. Previously, last year, between November and December, 2 variants were flagged off in Nigeria. So that now we are still looking at the database to see if any of the Indian virus variant pops up, which Nigeria CDC would now inform the public of the occurrence of such variants and also continue to emphasize the need for everyone to keep to the non-pharmaceutical interventions, wearing of face mask, physical distancing, hand washing, testing when the person comes into the country or when the person is going out, and self-isolation for travelers. All these are important since we do know now that the virus can mutate and some of these variants might cause more harm than previously known.
So from the findings and what you have, the data you have, and the provisions you have seen, would you say that we have enough layers of protection to ward off or at least keep that Indian variant at bay?
So the Indian variant and even any other variant, and even let's say the first coronavirus that emerged, all of them can be prevented if everyone keeps to the measures that have been provided. This is very important. COVID-19 response is a whole of society response, and that is why the non-pharmaceutical interventions are important. If you do notice that you are ill, you still go to the hospital. The NCDC and other key stakeholders have trained health workers on how to treat such infections. Isolation centers are available in all states. And in addition, immunization has already commenced for anyone that is eligible. So if you're eligible to receive immunization, it is imperative that you do go to the health facility near to you, closest to you. You can register online. There's an e-registration platform. Get a date and get vaccinated. And in addition, for all travelers, for anyone coming into the country, it is still a protocol that all travelers coming into the country must have a COVID-19 testing done. When anyone is traveling out, you also have a testing done, and self-isolation is critical for all travelers.
You mentioned a critical point, testing, because for us to even know whether we have the COVID-19, the Indian variant in the country first, there needs to be vast testing. How is the NCDC doing? We've talked about testing, setting a target time and again. We had a target which that the Commission set last year for, was it a few months to hit 2 million? And I mean, we struggled and are still struggling in that light. So just how is the NCDC doing? And is there maybe light at the end of a tunnel regarding testing in Nigeria?
So we do know that for testing, persons have to report to the hospital, and health workers have to have a high index of suspicion because COVID-19 mimics many other diseases, fever, cough, diarrhea, and other symptoms, loss of taste, loss of smell. Some diseases do present in the same manner. So it is imperative that everyone is aware of these symptoms and we go to the hospital for testing. NCDC has accredited over 100 laboratories, both public and private, that do conduct tests for COVID-19, both in country and for those traveling out. In addition, I mentioned genomic surveillance. The only way we can detect variants is if samples are sequenced, and that is what we call genomic surveillance, where some of the samples for COVID-19 are sequenced through in the machine, and then the mutations and the structure of the coronavirus is elucidated. So we do have a network of, yes, please.
Pardon me, as we wind down, so they talk about the third wave of COVID-19. It's no more a matter of if, it's now a matter of when. Just how close is that third wave as we wind down?
So we do know that Nigeria is always at a risk of having an increase in cases of coronavirus. Every country is at risk. That is why it's called a pandemic. All regions of the world are affected. We would say that Nigerians need to ensure that they keep to the interventions. At the NCDC, we continue to expand our laboratory network, improve on surveillance, train more health workers to detect the infections on time, ensure that the public is aware of the risk, and continue to report transparently as soon as we detect changes in the virus.
Well, Dr. Abiodun Egwenu, a coordinator at the NCDC, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.